immerse yourself in the vibrant African landscape with these fascinating facts about Mozambique. With its long coastline, rich cultural heritage, and diverse ecosystems, Mozambique is one of the continent's most fascinating countries. Join me in discovering the most fascinating facts about Mozambique. 1. One of the main tourist attractions in Mozambique is its wildlife reserves, where safaris can be taken. These reserves cover more than 12% of the country's land area and include 6 national parks and 6 national reserves. The largest protected area in the country is the Nyasa National Reserve, where visitors can observe lions, leopards, elephants, buffalo, zebras, wild dogs, and other species. These reserves not only play an important role in protecting wildlife, but also provide opportunities for sustainable tourism development in the country. 2. Due to years of civil war, habitat loss, and uncontrolled use of natural resources, Mozambique's giraffe population has declined rapidly. In recent years, reintroductions have taken place, and it is estimated that there are now around 250 South African giraffes in the country. These efforts demonstrate Mozambique's commitment to the conservation and recovery of rare wildlife species, ensuring the country's biodiversity. 3. Rhinos became extinct in Mozambique 40 years ago due to poaching and civil war. However, in 2022, 20 white rhinos and 7 black rhinos were reintroduced from South Africa to various national parks. The return of rhinos is not only a major step forward in conservation, but also a symbol of revival and hope for wildlife in Mozambique. 4. Poaching has been a problem in Mozambique for decades. Rhino horns cost between $3,600 and $17,000, with the 2 main markets being China and Vietnam, where they are used in traditional medicine. Dehorning or filing is a preventative measure to prevent poachers from killing them. However, the horns grow back after a few years, and what poachers value is their weight, so they can still kill rhinos even if the horns have not fully grown back. 5. The flag of Mozambique features green, black, yellow, and white stripes, a red triangle, a yellow star, an open book, and an image of a crossed pickaxe and rifle. These elements represent the country's resources, peace, heritage, and independence. It is one of only 2 global flags, including Guatemala, to feature weapons, symbolizing defense, and emphasizing agriculture and education. 6. Mozambique has 30,000 kilometers of roads, but only 5,600 kilometers are paved, most of which are located around Maputo and other major urban areas. Traveling outside these areas requires a 4-wheel drive vehicle, as smaller vehicles are not suitable. There are also 3,100 kilometers of railways used by both locals and foreigners. Mozambique's transport system is improving, but challenges remain, particularly in maintaining and developing rural transport infrastructure. 7. Mozambique is one of the poorest countries on the African continent and is frequently affected by droughts and cyclones that cause flooding in coastal areas. The country is sparsely populated, and most people live in coastal areas or in the fertile Zambezi River Valley in the north. Mozambique's harsh climate and unique geographical location greatly affect the lives and livelihoods of its people. 8. The country's diverse wildlife populations include water buffalo, elephants, warthogs, leopards, baboons, giraffes, zebras, antelopes, lions, rhinos, hippos, crocodiles, and many more. These animals are not only tourist attractions, but also play an important role in Mozambique's ecosystem. 9. Arguably, the most dangerous animal in Mozambique is the Plasmodium falciparum mosquito, as it transmits malaria. However, there are also deaths from attacks by other animals, especially crocodiles. Dozens of people die each year from attacks by these reptiles, most of the victims being children and women who go to the river to bathe, fetch water, or wash clothes. 10. Snakes, including pythons, vipers, and cobras, can be found throughout the country. There are also flamingos, cranes, storks, herons, pelicans, ibises, and other waterfowl, mainly in the wet areas of the Northwest. These animals enrich biodiversity and provide many research opportunities for scientists. 11. Mozambique is a country with an economy based mainly on agriculture and fishing. More than 80% of the population works in this sector, with major exports including shrimp, cotton, sugar, and citrus. In particular, Mozambique boasts one of the largest producers of cashew nuts in Africa, a product that is popular not only domestically, but also internationally. 12. In addition to agriculture, mining also plays an important role in Mozambique's economy. Major resources such as gold and tantalum, a metal used in electronics manufacturing, contribute significantly to the national income. The growth of the mining industry has opened up many job opportunities and boosted the country's economy. 13. About a third of Mozambique's population lives in urban areas, with major cities such as Maputo, Beira, and Nampula. However, the majority of the population still lives in rural areas, in traditional huts. There are distinct differences between urban and rural life, but both contribute to the country's rich and diverse culture. 14. Mozambique is a multilingual country with more than 80 languages spoken. Common languages include Swahili, Shona, and Songa, while Portuguese is the official language and is taught in schools. This linguistic diversity reflects the richness of Mozambique's culture and heritage. 15. With a long coastline along the Mozambique Channel, the country has some of the best natural harbors in Africa, facilitating the development of a maritime economy. In addition, white sandy beaches are attractive destinations for tourists, while fertile soil in the north and center supports a diverse agricultural sector. The Zambezi River also provides abundant water for irrigation and is the basis for the region's hydroelectric industry. 16. Mozambique has experienced many events in its recent history, from its independence in 1975 to internal conflict between the Marxist government and anti-communist forces. This war had a great impact on the country and its people, but Mozambique continued to build and develop. 17. The civil war in Mozambique that began in 1977 and lasted until 1992 caused serious damage. More than 4 million people were displaced, and 1 million died from violence, famine, and disease. The war also severely depleted wildlife populations, especially large mammals in national parks. 18. Mozambique has been inhabited since the 4th century BC, and the first coastal settlements were established in the 9th century AD. This period saw the dominance of Swahili culture, which helped shape Mozambique's history and culture. 19. Vasco da Gama arrived in Mozambique in 1498, and the port cities became important hubs for trade in the Indian Ocean. The Portuguese presence had a lasting impact on the country's culture and economy until Mozambique gained independence in 1975. 20. The name Mozambique comes from an Arab trader named Musa al-Bik, who settled on an offshore island in the 15th century. The capital was originally located on the island before being moved to Maputo in 1898. This is part of the rich history we are proud of. 21. During the 18th century, Mozambique was an important center for the slave trade. Yao traders developed a slave trade network from the Morave area around the tip of Lake Nyasa to Kilwa and the island of Mozambique. These traders took advantage of the terrain and economic conditions to maintain and develop their human trafficking network. 22. Lake Nyasa, also known as Lake Malawi, is the largest lake in Mozambique and is shared between Mozambique, Malawi, and Tanzania. One of the most famous legends of the lake is that of the Zimwe sea snake. In 1905, a newspaper reported that a group of missionaries were attacked by a sea snake while they were traveling on the lake, creating a fascinating story about the mysteries of Lake Nyasa. 23. Mozambique Island, located in Nampula Province, is a unique site that has been recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site. The island was the first settlement of the Portuguese and is home to the São Sebastião Fortress. Once a major trading post on the India route, Mozambique Island is rich in history and unique in architectural beauty. 24. Ponta de Ouro is a popular holiday destination, especially for South African tourists, due to its proximity to the border. With its beautiful golden beaches and numerous resorts, Ponta de Ouro is an ideal place to relax. Nearby Ponta Mamoli also offers nesting sites for loggerhead and leatherback turtles, making for a fascinating ecotourism experience. 25. Congo National Park, located at the southern end of the African Rift Valley, suffered heavily during the Mozambican Civil War. Most of the large animals were poached, leaving only about 200 elephants. Thanks to conservation efforts, the elephant population has begun to rise again and is now monitored and protected by park rangers. 26. The discovery of vast oil and natural gas deposits off the northern coast of Mozambique has spurred the development of new industries in the area. Mozambique's main trading partners include South Africa, India, the Netherlands, China, the United Arab Emirates, and Portugal. 27. Under long Portuguese rule, the Portuguese language and culture remain strongly present in Mozambique. Portuguese and Catholicism are important elements of the country's cultural and religious life. However, indigenous cultures also play an important role, contributing to the diversity and richness of Mozambican society. 28. About 2.1 million Mozambicans are living with HIV or AIDS, and the country is among the top 3 countries with the highest rates of infection, after South Africa and India. The HIV/AIDS epidemic is a major challenge to Mozambique's healthcare and social development systems. 29. Piri piri is a spicy sauce or condiment made from red chilies and used in many traditional Mozambican dishes. Piri means pepper in Swahili. The sauce also contains lemon, garlic, and onions, creating a distinctive flavor that is indispensable in local cuisine. 30. Matapa, also known as muquain, is a traditional Mozambican dish made from stir-fried cassava leaves mixed with ground nuts or cashews in a thick sauce. This dish is often served with rice, creating a nutritious meal with a rich local flavor. 31. Mozambique is home to many rare and endangered species of animals and plants. In particular, the country is famous for its communities of black and white colobus monkeys and gelada baboons. This biodiversity creates a rich ecosystem and is an attractive destination for scientists and nature-loving tourists. 32. The majority of Mozambicans speak languages belonging to the Bantu branch of the Niger-Congo language group. Among them, languages such as Makua, Lomwe, Tsonga, Sena, Shona, and Chwabo are the most widespread. This linguistic diversity reflects the richness of the country's culture and traditions. 33. Small groups in the far south and throughout Mozambique share Nguni languages with peoples from South Africa and Zimbabwe. This is the result of large population movements in the 19th century, when Nguni people migrated through the region, bringing their language and culture with them. 34. The most densely populated rural areas of Mozambique are those with the best soil and climate, including the valleys of the Lurio and Liganja rivers, the coastal plain between them, and the lower part of the Limpopo Valley. These areas are ideal for agriculture and living. 35. People in small settlements in Mozambique often grow a variety of crops in diverse environments to reduce the risk of famine in the event of floods, droughts, pests, or other natural disasters. This farming method helps ensure food stability for the community. 36. In 1962, representatives of Mozambican political groups in exile met in Tanganyika, now Tanzania, and formed the Mozambique Liberation Front, Frelimo. Eduardo Mondlane was its first president. Frelimo initiated the War for Independence, which was achieved in 1975 with the Lusaka agreements with Portugal. 37. Mozambique has one of the highest infant mortality rates in the world, while life expectancy is among the lowest, comparable to other African countries. 2/5 of Mozambique's population is under 15 years of age, and 3/4 are under 30, indicating a young population structure. 38. During the colonial period, Mozambicans worked in neighboring countries as contract and independent workers, particularly in the mining areas of South Africa and on farms, and in the cities of Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe. These workers made important contributions to the economies of neighboring countries. 39. Forests along the Beira Railway and in the Zambezia province in northern Mozambique have been exploited since independence as the country's main source of fuel, firewood, and charcoal. The fact that more timber is being cut than is being replaced by reforestation initiatives has raised concerns about the long-term ecological impact of eucalyptus plantations. 40. Mozambican national currency is the medical, spelled medicais in the plural. Since the 1990s, Mozambique has privatized its banking sector and borrowed heavily to finance development and combat foreign exchange shortages. These economic reforms help to promote growth and financial stability in the country. 41. Private aircraft were the first form of regular air travel in Mozambique. After World War II, the Portuguese national airline opened a route between Beira and Maputo. During the colonial period, the country developed its own airline, which was replaced in 1980 by Mozambique Airlines. 42. In November 1990, Mozambique adopted a new constitution, marking a significant change in government. It introduced multi-party elections, universal suffrage, and secret ballots, abolished the death penalty, and affirmed freedom of the press and the right of workers to strike. 43. Mozambican society has traditionally been centered around the family and community. However, the government opposes traditional practices such as polygamy and various initiation rites, as well as the rule of chiefs who have held positions of power since the colonial period. 44. In the late 1990s, the Mozambican government halted its campaigns against polygamy and initiation rites, recognizing that these practices were difficult to legislate. Other local authorities and regulators have played an important role in governance. 45. The staple food of the Mozambican people is cassava, which is cooked and mashed and served with sauces or masala. Rice is also the basis of many meals and is often eaten with beans. Indian influence is noticeable in the types of paella and the use of curry as a flavoring. 46. Mozambique has produced some of Africa's most important writers and artists. Since the early 20th century, writers and journalists have published their own newspapers in Maputo, called O Africano and later O Brado Africano. Despite colonial censorship, these newspapers have provided a forum for African intellectuals and writers for decades. 47. Mozambique's popular music combines Western and African influences. A popular musical style is marabenta, which originated in the 1950s and was first performed on homemade guitars. Marabenta lyrics are often political. The dance associated with this style is performed throughout the country. 48. In March 2019, Mozambique was hit by Cyclone Idai, which killed around 600 people and devastated much of the country. The hardest hit city was Beira, which was almost completely destroyed. 49. Mozambique is divided into 10 provinces and a provincial capital city. The provinces are divided into 129 districts, which are divided into administrative bodies and then into localities. And if you want to continue learning about another country, I recommend this video about Iceland, the land of ice and fire. If you find it interesting, please leave me a like and subscribe with the bell to follow the next videos. See you soon. Cape Verde, a little-known African gem, is a country that is sure to leave a lasting impression once you get to know it. Join me as I explore why Portuguese is spoken in this beautiful country, how people live there, and some of their most fascinating traditions. But first, hit that like button and subscribe with the notification bell so we can see you again and you won't miss any more videos like this one. 1. Geographical location. Cabo Verde, an island nation located in the central Atlantic Ocean, about 600 kilometers off the west coast of Africa, was once an uninhabited territory. Discovered and occupied by the Portuguese in the 15th century, the archipelago's name is derived from the Cape Verde Peninsula in West Africa. Cabo Verde's history is associated with the dark pages of humanity as it became a center of the African slave trade and a coal supply stop for whaling ships and transatlantic sea routes. In 1876, slavery was abolished on the island, opening a new chapter in the history of the archipelago. Although still under Portuguese control until 1975, today Cabo Verde has become an independent nation with 9 out of 10 islands inhabited. With a total area of just over 4,000 km², this small archipelago has become a symbol of resilience and innovation. overcoming a painful past to rise to the modern era. 2. History. In 1462, just 6 years after Portuguese sailors discovered the Cape Verde Islands, the first permanent Portuguese settlement was established in the town of Ribeira Grande, now known as Cidade Velha, south of Santiago Island. It was the first European colonial outpost in the tropics, ushering in a new era in the history of the archipelago. In 1951, the status of Cape Verde changed from a Portuguese colony to an overseas province, and in 1961, its inhabitants became full Portuguese citizens. However, discontent with Portuguese rule continued to grow. In 1956, a movement was started by the African Party for the Independence of Guinea and Cape Verde, PAICE. The party, founded by Amilcar Cabral, fought underground to demand improvements in economic, social, and political conditions. After the 1974 coup in Portugal, the country began to abandon its colonial empire, and the Cape Verde Islands gained independence on 5th of July 1975. At this time, Cape Verde and Guinea-Bissau shared a single flag and national anthem, with Guinea-Bissau's first president, Luis de Almeida Cabral, being a Cape Verdean. However, this unity did not last. The 1980 military coup in Guinea-Bissau overthrew Cabral, causing deep resentment in Cape Verde and leading to the complete separation of the two territories. The history of Cape Verde is a long and tumultuous journey, from exploitation by the Portuguese to the struggle for independence and the changing relationship with Guinea-Bissau. Through it all, the people of Cape Verde have demonstrated resilience and determination to rise above adversity, writing a proud and heroic history for their nation. 3. The islands. The Cape Verde archipelago, located in the mid-Atlantic Ocean, is a diverse collection of islands, each with its own unique natural beauty and culture. Santo Antão, the second largest island in the region, is a popular destination for hiking enthusiasts. Its rugged terrain with deep canyons and wide valleys creates a spectacular natural landscape that will test the endurance and skills of intrepid explorers. The Cape Verde Islands are also home to over 100 rare bird species, including the Cape Verde sparrow, Cape Verde shearwater, and the elegant purple heron. These birds create a rich ecosystem that brings life and color to the land. The islands in the Cape Verde archipelago are divided into two main groups: the Windward Islands and the Leeward Islands. Among them, Santo Antão, São Vicente, Santa Lucia, São Nicolau, Sal, and Boa Vista belong to the Windward group, with strong sea winds and majestic natural landscapes. The Leeward group includes Maio, Santiago, Fogo, and Brava, notable for their temperate climate and biodiversity. Sal, one of the most popular islands, attracts thousands of tourists with its long beaches and fine white sand. Meanwhile, Brava, the smallest island in the archipelago, is known as the Garden Island of Cabo Verde, thanks to its lush tropical vegetation and colorful flowers. The beaches of the Cabo Verde archipelago are also important for the endangered loggerhead turtle. In an effort to protect the environment, hunting turtles is illegal and strictly prohibited. With its stunning natural landscapes and rich history, the Cabo Verde archipelago has proven to be an irresistible attraction, not only for tourists, but also for those who study history and nature. These islands are not only a tourist destination, but also a symbol of cultural diversity and richness. 4. Geology. The Cabo Verde archipelago is not only famous for its beautiful beaches and diverse ecosystems, but also possesses unique geological wonders. Pico de Fogo, the highest mountain in the archipelago, rising 28.49 meters above sea level, is a majestic symbol of Cabo Verde's nature. This peak was formed from the ancient volcanic crater Chão das Caldeiras after a large part of the island, about 300 kilometers, collapsed and slid into the ocean. This event created a unique and fascinating geological landscape. Pico de Fogo last erupted in 2014, an event that reminds us of the power and constant transformation of nature. The Petro Lume crater is also a notable destination in Cabo Verde. The crater is now filled with salt water, creating a unique lake with a higher mineral content than the Dead Sea. This makes Pedro Luma an ideal destination for those who want to experience the natural feeling of floating on water, while enjoying the health benefits of the minerals in the water. Geological wonders such as Pico de Fogo and Pedro Lume are not only testament to the formation and transformation of the Cabo Verde archipelago over millions of years, but also symbolize the resilience and diversity of nature. These volcanoes not only bring majestic beauty to the landscape, but also evoke curiosity and a desire to explore in the hearts of history and geology lovers. 5. Climate. Since the late 16th century, the Cape Verde archipelago has faced severe natural challenges, with drought and famine being the most severe. Catastrophic droughts and successive famines have taken a heavy toll on the country, claiming the lives of thousands of Cape Verdeans in the first half of the 20th century. With limited natural resources, scarce rainfall, and scarce freshwater conditions, Cabo Verde has endured prolonged periods of hardship. According to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, Cabo Verde is currently one of the countries most vulnerable to climate change. The country's capacity to adapt to environmental changes is very limited. Forecast models show that by 2100, temperatures in Cabo Verde could increase by 4 degrees Celsius, while rainfall could decrease by up to 20%. This threatens the survival of agriculture and water resources and increases the risk of drought and poverty. Looking back, these challenges are not only dark pages in Cape Verde's past, but also a reminder of the fragility of the environment and the importance of sustainability. The country faces a major challenge to tackle climate change and ensure sustainable development for the future. 6. Darwin the Explorer. Cape Verde was the first stop for Charles Darwin on his famous voyage on the HMS Beagle, which took him around the world from 27 December 1831 to 2 October 1836. Here, Darwin first encountered a rich and diverse flora and fauna, which later contributed significantly to the development of his theory of evolution by natural selection. Although HMS Beagle was scheduled to visit Tenerife first, its first stop was at Praia on the volcanic island of Santiago on 16th January 1832. During his 3-week stay in Cape Verde, Darwin was fascinated by the diversity of the volcanic landscape and the white sand, which inspired him to discover his own ability to study geology. Another aspect that fascinated Darwin was the abundance of fruits such as oranges, bananas, and tamarinds, fruits that were rare and expensive in England at the time. Cape Verde gave Darwin his first insight into the richness and diversity of nature, which contributed significantly to the formation of his later scientific views. Darwin's presence in Cape Verde was not only an important stage in his research life, but also marked a turning point in the history of science. These early observations helped Darwin lay the foundations for his theory of evolution, which has forever changed the way we understand the origin and development of species on Earth. 7. Culture, religion. Cape Verde has a rich and diverse cultural heritage, reflecting the blending of African and Portuguese lineages. Due to severe droughts in the 20th century, many Cape Verdeans have migrated abroad, particularly to the United States, Europe, and other African and South American countries, creating a Cape Verdean diaspora that is larger than the island's population. Among the island's population are several African minorities, such as the Fulani, Volante, and Mandinka groups. There is also a small community of people of European descent, including Portuguese descendants, as well as Italians, French, and British. Notably, Cape Verde is also home to descendants of Sephardic Jews, who were expelled from the Iberian Peninsula in the 15th and 16th centuries during the Inquisition, along with other groups of Jewish merchants who arrived from Morocco in the 19th century. The majority of Cape Verde's population is Roman Catholic, and this religion has been enriched with African cultural elements, as demonstrated by Saints' Day celebrations, often accompanied by drums, masks, and African-style dances. The official language of Cape Verde is Portuguese, which is used in the education system, judiciary, and public services. However, most Cape Verdeans speak Cape Verdean Creole, or Crioulo, a Portuguese-based language with African influences. That is why Cape Verde is a country with a unique cultural exchange, where the history and heritage of many ethnic groups coexist and develop. This not only enriches the cultural life of the country, but also creates a special national identity, contributing to the diversity of the world. 8. Animals. The gray long-eared bat, Cape Verde's only native mammal, is an important part of the country's fauna. With its distinctive long ears, this bat has existed on the island since before humans arrived, reflecting the unique biodiversity of this land. The gray long-eared bat is not only an ecological highlight, but also a witness to the evolution and adaptation of animals in the isolated environment of the archipelago. In addition, the presence of goats on the islands also has special historical significance. Brought to the island by the Portuguese during their explorations and discoveries, goats quickly became an indispensable part of life and the agricultural economy of Cape Verde. With an estimated 1 goat for every 2 people, they not only provide milk and dairy products, but also play a vital role in sustaining the livelihoods of many farming families on the islands. The existence of animals like the gray, long-eared bat and goats in Cape Verde is not only a testament to their ability to survive and adapt, but also a reflection of the close connection between nature and people on these remote islands. 9. Economy. Cape Verde has witnessed remarkable historical and economic changes. As one of the world's largest recipients of aid per capita, Cape Verde has taken advantage of funding from the European Union and the World Bank to develop its infrastructure, expand its ports and airports, and modernize its fish processing industry. Cape Verde's industry is largely focused on small-scale manufacturing, such as ceramics, beverages, pharmaceuticals, and seafood processing. The growth of these industries, along with imports of fruits, vegetables, fuel, and construction materials, has created a complex economic network with major trading partners including Portugal, Spain, the Netherlands, and the United States. With no rail system, transportation in Cape Verde is largely by air and road. This reflects the dependence on imported petroleum and the need to use energy from renewable sources to reduce environmental impact. Since the introduction of the Cape Verdean escudo in 1914, the country has undergone many economic changes. The currency is now pegged to the euro, and the use of the dollar sign instead of a decimal point in the currency system represents a unique feature in the way monetary values are written here. One notable event was the involvement of Benito Mussolini, the Italian dictator, in the construction of the airport in Sal in the mid-20th century. The airport was later purchased by Portugal and became an important part of Cape Verde's transport infrastructure. From these historical factors, we can see that Cape Verde has gradually developed and faced its own challenges. Through this, the history of this country becomes a complex story of survival, adaptation, and sustainable development. 10. National flag. Cape Verde, with its iconic flag consisting of a blue field, white and red horizontal stripes, and a circle of 10 yellow stars representing the 10 main islands, is a country notable for its cultural diversity and rich history. The flag not only symbolizes the unity of the islands, but also reflects the Cape Verdean spirit of sharing and community. 11. In Cape Verde, it is considered rude to eat without sharing food, a cultural trait that emphasizes hospitality and respect. Cape Verde's artistic and folklore traditions, such as the Suentos de Nojo Lobo and the Batuco music, illustrate the fusion of African and Portuguese heritage. These vibrant narratives and musical rhythms have created a unique cultural identity for the country. 12. Cesaria Evora, one of Cape Verde's most famous artists, has brought the country's traditional music to the world with her soulful morna and coladera melodies. She has become an icon not only of music but also of the Cape Verdean spirit. 13. Although Cape Verde has participated in the Summer Olympics since 1996, the country has yet to win a medal and has not yet participated in the Winter Olympics. However, this has not diminished the enthusiasm and pride of the Cape Verdeans in representing their country on the international stage. 14. Ribeira Grande, the historic center of Cidade Velha, is Cape Verde's only UNESCO World Heritage Site. The city was an important port and stopover on historic voyages, including Vasco da Gama's voyage to India and Christopher Columbus's voyage to the Americas. 15. With its crystal-clear waters and favorable wind conditions, Cape Verde has become an ideal destination for windsurfing and diving. These factors not only attract tourists, but are also an integral part of local life and culture. 16. Since the early 1990s, Cape Verde has emerged as a stable representative of democracy in Africa. With its stable and developed politics, the country is now considered one of the most developed democracies on the African continent. This development is the result of the tireless efforts of the people and government of Cape Verde in building a free, fair, and prosperous society. Cape Verde, with its unique history, culture, and nature, continues to be an interesting and mysterious destination, attracting the attention of those who love to explore and learn about different cultures. If you find this video useful, give us a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel with the notification bell turned on so you don't miss any future videos. Continue to explore the wonders of the world with us through videos about Iceland, one of the most unique and interesting countries on this planet. We hope to see you again in the next videos to explore more fascinating stories about other unique cultures and histories. Thank you for your support. The Ethiopian highlands are filled with secrets that will blow your mind. Imagine soaring above these majestic peaks where ancient mysteries lie hidden beneath the mist. In 2024, we'll uncover the most breathtaking landscapes, unique cultures, and untold stories that have shaped this region for millennia. What lies within these towering mountains? Let's find out. Welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving deep into one of Africa's most fascinating regions, the Ethiopian highlands. Known as the roof of Africa, this vast elevated plateau is more than just a geographic wonder. It's a cradle of civilization, a biodiversity hotspot, and a land filled with ancient traditions. In this video, we'll uncover the hidden secrets of the Ethiopian highlands in 2024. From its untold history to its unique ecosystems and cultural treasures, you're about to discover a side of Ethiopia that few have seen. Let's begin our journey. Part 1. The Geographical Marvel. Let's start by understanding why the Ethiopian highlands are so unique. Covering a significant portion of Ethiopia, this plateau rises to an average altitude of over 2,000 meters. The highlands are home to Ras Dashen, Ethiopia's highest peak, standing at 4,150 meters. But these elevations aren't just numbers. They play a crucial role in shaping the region's climate, ecosystems, and even its history. One of the lesser-known aspects of the Ethiopian highlands is their influence on the country's climate. The highlands act as a natural water tower for the region, feeding into major rivers like the Blue Nile. This river has been the lifeblood of civilizations for thousands of years, not only in Ethiopia, but also downstream in Sudan and Egypt. The significance of the Ethiopian highlands in the Nile Basin's hydrology is a fascinating and often overlooked fact that highlights the region's importance far beyond its borders. Part 2. Untold History and Ancient Civilizations. The Ethiopian highlands are steeped in history, with roots that go back to ancient civilizations. While many are familiar with the Aksumite kingdom, few know about the lesser-known pre-Aksumite cultures that thrived in these highlands. One of these is the Dempt kingdom, which existed around 700 BCE. This civilization, often overshadowed by the more famous Aksum, was a precursor to the later development of Ethiopian culture and religion. In addition to these early civilizations, the Ethiopian highlands are home to some of the world's most extraordinary religious sites. Lalibela, with its rock-hewn churches, is perhaps the most famous. But did you know that there are many lesser-known churches scattered throughout the highlands, some of which remain largely unexplored by archaeologists? For instance, the Abuna Yamatagu Church, perched high in the cliffs of the Tigray region, is a testament to the ancient architectural ingenuity and spiritual devotion that characterizes this land. Part 3. The enigmatic Simien Mountains. No exploration of the Ethiopian highlands would be complete without a journey into the Simien Mountains. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is not just a haven for hikers and nature lovers, but also a place of profound mystery and beauty. The Simien Mountains are often referred to as the chess pieces of the gods, due to their dramatic jagged peaks that rise above the clouds. This range is home to the Galata baboons, the only grass-eating monkeys in the world, and the rare Ethiopian wolf, one of the most endangered carnivores on the planet. But beyond the wildlife, there are stories of ancient hermits and monks who have lived in these mountains for centuries, in complete isolation, dedicating their lives to spirituality. One such story is that of Saint Abune Aregawi, who, according to legend, was carried by a giant snake to the top of the mountain to establish the first Ethiopian Orthodox monastery. This monastery, Debre Damo, remains a pilgrimage site to this day, with access granted only to men who must climb a sheer cliff using a rope. The tale of Saint Abune Aregawi is just one of many that add a mystical layer to the Simeon Mountains, making them a place where history, religion, and nature intertwine. Part 4. The hidden ecosystems and endemic species. The Ethiopian highlands are a biodiversity hotspot, hosting unique ecosystems that are found nowhere else on Earth. The highlands' isolation has led to the evolution of numerous endemic species, making it a critical area for conservation. For example, the Bale Mountains, located in the southern part of the highlands, are home to the Bale monkey, a species found only in this region. This monkey's habitat is the bamboo forests that cling to the mountain slopes, a fragile ecosystem that is under threat from deforestation. Similarly, the Ethiopian wolf, which we mentioned earlier, is a keystone species whose survival is intricately linked to the health of the highland ecosystems. In recent years, conservation efforts have intensified in the highlands, with organizations working to protect these unique species and their habitats. However, these efforts are often challenged by the growing pressures of agriculture and climate change, which threaten to disrupt the delicate balance of the region's ecosystems. Understanding and supporting these conservation efforts is crucial for preserving the highlands' natural heritage. Part 5. The cultural tapestry of the highlands. The Ethiopian highlands are not just a natural wonder, they are also a cultural mosaic. The highlands are home to diverse ethnic groups, each with their own languages, traditions, and ways of life. From the Amhara and Tigray people in the north to the Oromo in the south, the highlands are a living testament to Ethiopia's rich cultural heritage. One of the lesser-known cultural practices in the highlands is the celebration of Meskel, the Ethiopian Orthodox festival of the finding of the true cross. This festival, which takes place every September, involves elaborate processions, bonfires, and prayers. The highlight of the festival is the lighting of the Demera, a large bonfire symbolizing the cross on which Jesus was crucified. The Meskel celebration in the highlands is a powerful expression of faith and community, deeply rooted in the region's history and traditions. Part 6. Hidden archaeological sites. Beyond the well-known sites like Lalibela and Axum, the Ethiopian highlands are dotted with lesser-known archaeological treasures. One such site is the ancient city of Yeha, believed to be the oldest standing structure in Ethiopia. The Temple of Yeha, built around the 8th century BCE, is a remarkable example of early Ethiopian architecture, with its towering walls and intricate stone carvings. Despite its historical significance, Yeha remains relatively unknown to the outside world, offering a glimpse into a time when the highlands were a thriving center of trade and culture. Another fascinating site is the Giralta Mountains, where ancient cave churches are hidden within the rocky cliffs. These churches, carved into the mountainsides, are not only architectural marvels, but also hold centuries-old religious manuscripts and relics. The Giralta churches are a testament to the enduring spiritual traditions of the Ethiopian highlands, where faith and history are intertwined in every stone. As we've seen, the Ethiopian highlands are a treasure trove of hidden secrets, from their stunning natural beauty to their rich cultural and historical heritage. This region, often overlooked, holds the key to understanding Ethiopia's past and shaping its future. Whether it's the untold stories of ancient civilizations, the unique ecosystems, or the enduring cultural traditions, the Ethiopian highlands offer a journey of discovery that is both enriching and unforgettable. So what do you think? Which part of the Ethiopian highlands fascinates you the most? Leave your thoughts in the comments below and let's start a conversation. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more explorations into hidden gems around the world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Surely you have come across short videos on social media of guys wearing suits, sunglasses, and boater hats and dancing while carrying coffins. These videos quickly became a trend during the COVID-19 pandemic, with the message advising people to stay home to avoid the risk of being carried like that. But do you know where this trend originated from? Let's explore Ghana, the birthplace of the world-famous coffin dance. Ghana not only possesses this unique dance, but is also proud of its long-standing and unique culture, rich in precious natural resources. Now let's start with some interesting facts about Ghana. 1. We know Ghana mostly for football, with famous players such as Michael Essien, who played for Chelsea, and Kevin Prince Boateng, who played for AC Milan in Barcelona. Their homeland, the Republic of Ghana, is a country located in West Africa between the Ivory Coast and Togo, bordered by Burkina Faso to the north and the Gulf of Guinea to the south. With an area of 530 kilometers, half the size of California, Ghana has a population of over 31 million people. 2. Ghana's capital and largest city is Accra. The country is covered by plains, low hills, and several rivers. Ghana can be divided into 4 different topographical regions. The north is covered with wide plains. The west and south are covered with forests and mountains, and the east has mountain ranges and plateaus. 3. Ghana's flag has 3 equal horizontal bands: red, yellow, and green. In the middle of the yellow stripe is a black 5-pointed star, symbolizing the Ghanaian people's desire for independence. Red represents the blood of those who sacrificed for independence. Yellow represents gold, a common mineral in Ghana, and green represents the forests and richness of natural resources. 4. Ghana is actually one of the world's largest gold producers, ranking second in Africa after South Africa, and among the top 10 globally. It is no wonder that Ghana was once called the Gold Coast. In addition to gold, Ghana is also rich in diamonds, with diamond reserves also among the top 10 in the world. The Gold Coast gained independence from the United Kingdom in 1957, becoming the first independent country in the sub-Saharan region. The name Ghana was chosen to commemorate the Ghanaian Empire, an empire that once stretched across West Africa, something the Ghanaian people are very proud of. 5. The name Ghana means warriors of the king, and Ghanaians are indeed excellent warriors in many fields. Like many other African countries, Ghana has a rich and diverse culture. With a population of over 31 million, Ghana is made up of over 100 different ethnic groups. However, what is special about Ghana is the harmony between the peoples, without the ethnic conflicts or fierce civil wars that are common in many other African countries. 6. Ghana is one of the few English-speaking African countries in the region. English is the main language, and even the national anthem of Ghana is sung in English. However, most Ghanaians know at least one of their own dialects. As an ethnically diverse country, Ghanaian culture is a blend of many different cultures, which is evident in the way Ghanaian football players celebrate their victories. 7. Ghanaians have some interesting customs, such as a very special way of welcoming the new year. They believe that the more you cry on New Year's Day, the luckier you will be. While some countries welcome the new year with joy and happiness, Ghanaians welcome the new year by screaming and crying loudly to forget the sadness of the old year. On the first days of the year, the main sound in Ghana is crying to dispel the bad luck of the old year. 8. Ghanaians also celebrate New Year's Eve, however. In some coastal areas, playing music during the new year is banned. They believe that playing music will anger the sea goddess and cause disaster. The ban on music lasts until May. 9. Ghana is famous for its unique culture, especially in funerals. While many countries in the world hold funerals in a quiet and sad atmosphere, in Ghana, funerals are very lively. Ghanaians believe that funerals are not only an occasion to mourn, but also a celebration of the earthly life of the deceased. Therefore, funerals are not only sad, but on the contrary, they must be held happily because the deceased will continue to live a new life in the afterlife. Those who can afford it are willing to spend a lot of money to organize a grand and crowded funeral. One famous example is the coffin dance, which has become a social media sensation with clips going viral. The dance usually involves 6 men dressed in shiny funeral clothes, wearing goggles and black plaid hats. They lift the coffin onto their shoulders and dance enthusiastically to upbeat music, while people around them cheer enthusiastically. The coffin dance is just a small part of Ghanaian funerals. Ghanaians pay around $500 to use this service. Funerals are also not complete without attractive advertisements in the form of posters, priced from $500 to $3,000, depending on the type, placed at strategic locations to attract attention. Besides the funeral ceremony and lavish party, the coffin is one of the most significant expenses in a funeral. Each coffin is custom-made in a variety of shapes and colors, reflecting the dreams, personality, and life of the deceased. Coffins are locally called a bebu adakai, which means a box, and each box has its own symbolic meaning. For example, a chili-shaped coffin represents the deceased's calm state, while a Mercedes-shaped coffin symbolizes wealthy men who own German cars and have high social status. These luxurious coffins cost up to several thousand US. Ghana's coffin-making profession is very popular and famous. In recent years, Ghana's unique coffin designs have attracted the attention of professional students from Korea, Russia, the United States, and Denmark. Coffin design studios have received orders from more than 20 countries around the world. Ghana's unique coffins first appeared at an exhibition in Paris, France in 1989, and Ghana's second exhibition has also been at the National Funeral History Museum in Houston, the United States. 10. Ghanaians are described as gentle and orderly. They queue up properly, give way when driving, and when traffic accidents occur, they argue instead of using violence. Ghanaians are also very friendly to foreigners. Here are some other interesting facts about Ghana. 11. Ghana is not a prominent country on the world economic map, but the Ashanti tribe of this country is famous for its gold trade and incredible wealth. What is special is that the Ashanti people have the custom of wearing jewelry weighing up to several kilograms of gold. The Ashanti tribe is located in southern Ghana with a current population of about 1.5 million people. This tribe is almost an autonomous country, existing since the 13th century to the present, with an economy mainly based on the gold trade. The Ashanti people often judge others based on the amount of gold they wear, even in marriage. Ashanti boys and girls often look for partners based on the amount of gold the other person wears, considering this one of the important criteria to evaluate the ability to be a good wife or husband. However, the amount of gold that the Ashanti people own is not commensurate with the level of wealth in their daily lives. Although the Ashanti people often wear gold dangling on their bodies, which can amount to several kilograms, in many areas of the tribe, the people still live in poverty. People often lack food, and in some cases, even starve. Gold is not used as a material to bring comfort, but only to show symbolic wealth and honor. 12. Football is the most popular and beloved sport in Ghana. The Ghanaian national team, known as the Black Stars, has won the Africa Cup of Nations several times and reached the quarterfinals of the 2010 World Cup. One memorable match was when they faced Uruguay, when Luis Suarez famously blocked the ball with his hand. 13. Ghana has the world's largest man-made reservoir. Lake Volta has a surface area of approximately 8,502 km² and is the main source of water for many of Ghana's other rivers and plays an important role in transportation and electricity supply. 14. The cocoa industry is a key sector of the Ghanaian economy. With 3/4 of farmers identifying themselves as cocoa producers, the industry employs nearly 1 million people and contributes 30% of the country's total export value. Ghana is the second largest cocoa producer in the world, and Ghanaian cocoa is highly regarded for its quality. 15. The median age of Ghanaians is very young, around 21 years old compared to Japan, which is almost 50 years old. The fertility rate in Ghana is around 4 children per woman, higher than in many developed countries, although it has decreased from 7 children in the last 50 years. In 16, the climate in Ghana is tropical monsoon with a dry season in the winter and a rainy season in the summer. Temperatures in the central and northern parts of the country can reach 104 degrees, while the desert areas can drop to 50 degrees in February and April. 17. The Dagomba are the second largest tribe in terms of population in Ghana, living mainly in the north and making up about 50% of the local population. They speak several different languages, the main language being Dagbani. 18. St. George Castle, also known as Elmina Castle, is one of the most famous castles in Ghana, built in the 15th century by the Portuguese. It is the oldest European building south of the Sahara and was once a trading post, later a stop on the Atlantic slave trade route. 19. Mole National Park is Ghana's largest wildlife reserve, where you can see hippos, elephants, buffalo, and many other animals. Hunting is banned in the reserve, but poaching is still a problem, especially the hunting and selling of pangolins. 20. Kakum National Park is a great hiking destination with 40 species of mammals, 300 species of birds, and more than 600 species of butterflies. The highlight of the activity here is the canopy walk, with a system of suspension bridges 98 feet above the ground. 21 Busua is one of the most peaceful beaches in Ghana, located 18.6 miles from the city of Takoradi. The highlight of Busua is its very calm waters, unlike many other beaches in Ghana. 22. In eastern Ghana, you can find Bodie Falls, which attracts visitors from all over the world. Locals believe that Bodie Falls has male and female waterfalls, and when the volume of water increases, a mating ceremony is held to honor this event. 23. Aburi Botanical Garden is one of the most attractive places you can visit in Ghana. Opened in 1890 in the town of Aburi, the garden spans 158.15 acres. It is an ideal place to picnic and enjoy a relaxing atmosphere, connecting with nature. 24. In the village of Paga, there is a sacred crocodile pond where locals believe that the crocodiles protect the souls of the people. Strangely enough, deaths that attract public attention often coincide with the deaths of some of these sacred crocodiles. 25. Ghana has only one natural lake, Lake Basumtwi, which was formed from a crater caused by a meteorite impact over 1 million years ago. The lake is considered sacred, and it is believed that when the soul dies, it goes there to bid farewell to the goddess of earth and fertility of the Ashanti people. 26. In Ghana, as in other African countries such as Togo and Nigeria, there is an ancient rhythm called Agbadza. Originally a war dance, today Agbadza is often performed at weddings and funerals. 27. Ghanaian cuisine is a blend of indigenous flavors and foreign influences, including European and Indian. Ghanaian cuisine is often hot and spicy, with ingredients such as yams, cassava, corn, beans, bananas, and rice. Main dishes are usually accompanied by sauces, often eaten with rice. Tomato stews and many fish dishes are also popular. Some famous dishes include banku with tilapia, red, and kelewel. And here are some facts about the country of Ghana, once known as the Gold Coast, famous for football, cocoa, and the coffin dance of the Funny Boys. Interesting, right? If you want to learn about another African country, watch this video about Mozambique, one of the least visited countries on the continent. Thank you for watching this story. If you find it interesting, don't forget to click the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and share. And now let's say goodbye. The Eyo Festival in Lagos is a colorful spectacle where people dressed in pure white, with full masks and large embroidered hats, parade through the streets. It is not just a festival, but a symbol of the culture and history of the people of Lagos for hundreds of years. The Eyo Festival connects people to the past, conveying a message of unity and national pride. Their images are like a vivid picture, stimulating the imagination and bringing a sense of excitement to everyone around. But the festival is only a small part of the whole picture of Nigeria, a country with rich stories, diverse cultures, and resilient people. This is Nigeria, the beating heart of Africa, where every pulse of life radiates from the core of majestic history and indomitable human spirit. Travel back in time to a time when Nigeria did not yet exist as a modern nation, when ancient kingdoms rose to power and prosperity. Kingdom of Benin, one of the oldest and most powerful civilizations in West Africa. Benin is famous for its exquisite bronze and wood carvings, statues so detailed and lifelike that they seem to tell stories. In a world where rare metals like bronze were often used for weapons and tools, the people of Benin turned them into art, and each piece tells a story of great kings, wars for power, and the might of empires. Images of kings, fierce warriors, and guardian deities are imprinted in people's minds. Oyo Kingdom. Another empire, Oyo grew into one of the largest and most powerful in West Africa. Oyo was famous for its superior military system, skilled horsemen, and a rich culture revolving around religion and tradition. Stories of kings like Oranmiyan and their exploits became legends. Oyo was also a trading center where products from all over the world were traded, from gold and ivory to luxury fabrics and precious spices. The people of Oyo lived in fortified citadels with high walls protecting them from outside attacks. Nigeria is not just a country, but a mosaic of hundreds of diverse cultural pieces. With over 250 ethnic groups, each has its own unique culture, belief system, and traditions. The Yoruba, one of Nigeria's largest ethnic groups, are known for their traditional Yoruba religious system. Adherents of this religion believe in the existence of many gods, orishas, each representing a force or aspect of nature. Yoruba festivals are often held to honor the orishas with traditional dances, lively music, and colorful spiritual rituals. One of the biggest festivals is the Osun-Osogbo Festival, held annually to honor the Osun River goddess, who brings prosperity and fertility. In northern Nigeria are the Hausa people, known for their long-standing trade culture and unique architectural art. Hausa cities such as Kano and Zaria were built with strong walls and magnificent palaces, demonstrating the wealth and power of the kings. The Hausa were also famous for their Durbar festivals, where horsemen performed spectacular parades, demonstrating military prowess and loyalty to the kings. In eastern Nigeria, the Igbo people are known for their strong communal culture and unique social system. The Igbo have an economy based on trade and agriculture, and they pride themselves on their creativity and entrepreneurial skills. Igbo festivals, such as the New Yam Festival, are occasions for the community to honor their ancestors, celebrate good harvests, and strengthen solidarity. Because of the cultural diversity, there are also many interesting festivals here. Among them is the Osun-Osogbo Festival. This is an annual festival held in the sacred forest of Osun-Osogbo, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The festival honors the goddess Osun, the goddess of love, fertility, and fresh water. A little-known story is that in the 18th century, the goddess Osun promised the villagers of Osogbo that if they never cut down the sacred forest, she would protect them from all evil and bring prosperity to the land. Since then, the festival has become an important part of the cultural and spiritual life of the people. Nigeria is not only famous for its diverse culture, but also for producing many outstanding talents who have contributed to shaping not only this country, but also the world. Wole Soyinka, the first Nigerian writer to win the Nobel Prize for Literature. Wole Soyinka has written profound and philosophical literary works, exploring issues of human rights, freedom, and democracy. His works have not only brought him fame, but also raised the position of African literature on the world literary map. What is less known is that he was imprisoned for 27 months in terrible conditions, mainly in an isolated cell, for allegedly aiding Biafra rebels in the Nigerian Civil War. During that time, Soyinka wrote on pieces of toilet paper and other random media an expression of an unyielding spirit. Next is Chinua Achebe, whose novel Things Fall Apart, one of the most famous and influential books in African literature, vividly depicts the conflict between traditional values and the changes caused by the intrusion of the West. But few people know that Achebe refused many prestigious awards throughout his career because he felt that these awards did not truly understand and appreciate the cultural values he represented. One of the prominent writers and feminists is Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, known for novels such as Half of a Yellow Sun and Americana. Adichie is recognized not only for her literary talent, but also for her strong views on gender equality and the soft power of women in society. An interesting fact is that her speech, "We Should All Be Feminists," was used by Beyoncé in her song Flawless, helping Adichie's message spread around the world. When talking about Nigerians, we cannot help but mention Aliko Dangote, Africa's richest man, owner of the Dangote Group. A little-known fact is that Dangote started his business career by borrowing money from his uncle to trade in commodities such as rice and sugar. From humble beginnings, he built an industrial empire, especially in the cement sector, where his products now account for more than 60% of the market share in Nigeria and many other African countries. Dangote is also known for his extensive charitable activities, especially in the fields of health and education. In addition, what makes Nigeria stand out is the development of the Nigerian film industry. Nollywood is one of the largest film industries in the world, second only to Hollywood and Bollywood. Nollywood produces thousands of movies every year, reflecting the lives and culture of the Nigerian people and helping to popularize Nigerian culture around the world. Nollywood actors and directors are not only local stars, but are also known and respected globally. Interestingly, women play a very important role in Nollywood, not only as actors, but also as directors, producers, and screenwriters. Names like Genevieve Naji, Amaka Igwe, and Mo Abudu are not only local stars, but also global icons, helping to popularize Nigerian culture around the world. Mo Abudu, the founder of Ebony Life Media, has even been called the Oprah Winfrey of Nigeria because of her influence in the entertainment industry. Nigerian fashion is also interesting, with colorful Ankara fabrics and Aso-Ebi styles worn during festivals and important events. Aso-Ebi is a long-standing tradition where people wear the same outfit to show unity and respect at family or community events. Interestingly, the Nigerian fashion industry has grown rapidly, with Lagos Fashion Week becoming a leading event in Africa, attracting many famous designers and models from around the world. Nigeria is a country rich in natural resources, but it also faces many challenges in governance and development. Corruption has been a problem for decades, but Nigerians have never given up hope for a better future. Social movements, from young activists like Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie to NGOs, are fighting to bring positive change to Nigerian society. Okada, a popular motorcycle taxi service in Nigeria's major cities, is named after a former airline. Little known is that Okada has become a major part of Nigeria's informal economy, providing employment for millions and helping to ease traffic congestion. However, the service has also been controversial in terms of road safety and urban management. Nigerian cuisine is a world of flavors, where each dish tells a story about the land and its people. Jollof rice, a popular dish not only in Nigeria but also throughout West Africa, is a symbol of culinary creativity. Each family, each region has a different way of cooking jollof rice, creating diversity and richness for this dish. In addition, suya is a popular street food in Nigeria, usually made from beef, chicken, or goat, marinated with hot spices and grilled over charcoal. An interesting fact is that suya was originally a traditional dish of the Hausa people in northern Nigeria, but has become a culinary icon across the country. What is special is that each region in Nigeria has a different variation of suya, creating diversity and richness for this dish. Moi moi is a popular bean cake made from beans and spices, steamed or baked until soft. A little-known fact is that moi moi is usually wrapped in banana leaves or uma leaves to preserve the natural and traditional flavor of the dish. This is an indispensable dish in parties or special occasions, demonstrating the diversity and creativity of Nigerian cuisine. The unique traditional flavors of Nigerian cuisine also conclude today's exciting journey. Nigeria is a country of stories, from majestic ancient kingdoms to diverse and rich cultures. It is a place where every beat of life, every custom, every person contributes to the overall harmony of a nation on the rise. But the story of Nigeria does not end here. It continues to unfold with new chapters waiting to be written by future generations. Do you want to discover more about Nigeria? Leave your comments in the comment section and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on other interesting videos.